Hello, everyone. Welcome to D&D News. I pressed a button, so I hope it works. And I'm also Greg Tito, and I am here for the last D&D News for the entire year of 2018 to tell you some fun stuff. It has been a long, crazy, and fun year that I can't believe it's over already. But a lot of things happened. Yeah. How was your years? Your collective years with an apostrophe at the end. Was it as fun-filled as everything happening in Dungeons and Dragons world? Hey, real Japesy, how you doing? What's up, Akeisha Roberts? Good to see you, as always. Hope you are gearing up for the holidays. Still going. I know. I think I'm feeling like it's the end of the year, but it really is. There's, 12 days left? No. 12 days until the end of Christmas? Hard to say. What do you get on the 12th day of Christmas? Two pipers piping? Lords the leaping? Mugs a sipping? I'm not sure. Winter solstice is coming this up Friday. That's when it's the shortest day of the year. I've been gearing up for that with my girls. We've been getting up early in the morning to walk to school. And it is dark actually now it's mostly been light, but here in Seattle it rains a lot, so it's dark. And luckily after Friday it will start to get a little bit brighter, a little bit every day, and that's something to look forward to because it has been a cloudy, misty few months here in the Pacific Northwest, and I hope it hasn't been like that everywhere for you guys. It is still very nice, yes, and a big mug of coffee is always needed, but especially on this day. Are you guys getting geared up for everything you need to play Dungeons and Dragons over the break? Hopefully you get a long break coming up very soon, if not already. But what kind of gear is on your list to receive this holiday season? For me, it is several thousand more of these mugs. And a whole lot more after that. I've been telling you all about the new fun stuff that has come out from Dungeons & Dragons the last few years, but I thought it'd be fun to go through a little bit of the products that went over the whole year. Not necessarily to rehash or to retell the story, but just as hey, these things came out this year. So I think at the beginning of this year there were Dungeon Tiles remastered or reincarnated, Wilderness, City, and Urban, I believe they were called, the three versions of that. And then in the fall we had a little book called Mordenkainen's, I'm sorry, not in the fall, that was in the spring, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. That had two covers. One was the standard cover and the alternate cover. And that showed a whole bunch of races that you could play in for the first time, delving into some of the conflicts of the multiverse, such as Drow versus Elves and the Gith Yankee versus the Gith Durai. Not to mention the Blood War and what's all happening with that. I'm trying to remember my old sales pitches of the things that I used to use to describe all of these products back in the spring. But that was an awesome book. Then we had the Stream of Many Eyes in June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Los Angeles, where we unveiled Waterdeep Dragon Heist and Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage for the first time for you folks. I know many of you might have participated in the No Stone Unturned ARG that was going on leading up to that event. Shout out to everyone who was solving puzzles in that game leading up to the stream, and of course to everyone who participated at the Stream of Many Eyes. You are all part of my D&D nerd family, and I appreciate you 1,000%. And we hope to wow you again with the next year's streaming event. There is a lot of plans being laid for that right about now. If you see any bags under my eyes, it is stress leading up to it, and it's 6 months away ish. at this point, but still a lot of planning to get ready for. So yeah, Stream of Many Eyes happened. We celebrated everything about Dungeons and Dragons, including amazing new groups, including Rivals of Waterdeep, welcoming them to the D&D channel. So thank you to everyone in that group. You are near and dear to my heart. We also welcomed, for the first time, a dungeon master by the name of Deborah Ann Wall. And I have some bit of news. Why don't we just go into talking about some actual news instead of rehashing the year? Where is this? Where's it coming at? Well, I guess we don't actually have a picture of this. Oopsie. I thought we totally did. I've screwed up. I don't have a picture, so I will look for it on the interwebs. Yeah. I feel like I should show the actual video for this, but I don't think I got it queued up in time. But we'll see how it goes, just for funsies. What's it called? Arrivals? No, it's Relics. Anyway, there it is. Relics and Rarities. There we go. Geek and Sundry announced the new show from that will be Dungeon Mastered by Deborah Ann Wall. Many of the folks that were in her... I'm going to play this video, even though you won't necessarily be able to hear the audio from it. It'll be playing there as I'm talking. Many of the people who are in that cast were at the Stream of Many Eyes. That has recently been announced, but I'm not sure everybody saw it on the Twitters. It is Deborah Ann Wall is leading the charge as Dungeon Master, as well as Xander Generett, who is a member of the Library Bards, an amazing parody parody pop nerd group, which is awesome. You'll see some more stuff coming from him. And two of the cast members that were in the session that Deborah Ann Wall, and there she is. There she is. Had done at the Stream of Many Eyes will be coming back and playing with her. They were folks from her Rarities group back in the... Here, I'm starting some music. Oh, see, there's the camera. I press the button and it goes away. So that's going to be really cool. I'm very excited about that. I don't know as much about it, and I'm going to be learning more as the time goes on, but I'm pretty excited. So yeah, that was one of the fun things about the Stream of Many Eyes. Then we also announced Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. I'm doing this all by memory, by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm stuttering a little bit. We announced Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica in conjunction with the Broken Pact and how they will be and have been doing an amazing job of dramatizing what it's like to play Dungeons & Dragons within the setting of Ravnica from Magic the Gathering. That has been super awesome. Then in September, we released Waterdeep Dragon Heist. A lot of people jumped onto it. It was a great introductory adventure for a lot of people because the hooks itself were pretty easy, and Dungeon Masters were able to take all the cues of what it's like to play in an urban setting of Waterdeep and play it through. I've been playing it with a group that is new and old players coming together. So they've really taken to the storytelling in Waterdeep Dragon Heist, although most of them still want to go through dungeons with a 10-foot pole in front of them and searching for traps. I should probably just put a trap or two out there for them and destroy them while I can, at the one moment when they put away that 10-foot pole. That's what they do, right? So yeah, that came out in... September, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We then released a whole bunch of stuff in the months of October and November, and I'm just going to quickly go through them now so that you get a sense of what some of them were. There was in October the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of D&D by Ivan Van Norman with illustrations by Caleb Cleveland. Those were fantastic and super well received. Hopefully they're on a lot of people's lists to give to their children's and or people who love imagination, because those are amazing. Then in November, we released Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, along with a Maps and Miscellany pack and Ravnica dice set. Those are all awesome. And at the same time, the Waterdeep Dragon Heist dice set was available. And those had a cool hit point tracker that my kids love to play with and click around. So check those out if you haven't already. Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. I skipped that one, but that was released in the fall, around the same time that we announced Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. But that is available on the DM's Guild now. I'm giving Lauren here a run for her money by just throwing up all these links. I so apologize, Lauren, because I'm not following any rhyme or reason. But you're just gonna have to, I'm sorry. Ride the wave, as we say. I was gonna say bear with me, but no, ride the wave here. Thank you, Oak Rune. That's awesome. I agree. I think they will be classics for many years to come. You're the best. And Trolls Madan, yes, if you would like to invite us, we're not always able to do small or even medium or even large sized conventions because we are a very small team and have to devote pick and choose where our resources go. But yeah, send me a note on Twitter and we can talk more about the possibilities of that. I am sad because I used to run a few small conventions and would petition the Dungeons and Dragons team as often as you probably think you are. So that's pretty fun. Oh, and hey, what's up, Tanya? Cypher Rift here. How's it going? Good to see you. Sometimes I forget and don't look at the chat, but I'm deciding to do that right now as I walk through memory lane of everything that happened here in 2018. There has been a lot of things and a lot of stuff that has come out. So we're in November now, right? Okay, so what happened in November? I skipped so many things, it doesn't matter. Adventures Outlined is an awesome D&D book, coloring book. It's available. It is great. The Endless Quest books by Matt Forbeck. Those came out in September, actually, and they're fantastic. There's a D&D calendar out there for 2019. Get it, put it on your wall, use it to memorize when your dates will be coming up. It is fantastic. I have it on my kids' wall right now. But it's available at ThinkGeek, I believe. Yeah. Yes, you do, Tanya. You need that because it is. It's got lots of some of the older artwork from D&D 5th edition, and it brings you back. It really does. Good stuff. And then, last but not least, one of the most exciting releases I think of this year for Dungeons and Dragons was Dungeon Mayhem, which is a card game, small form factor. You can bring it with you. When you're going on trips with, just a light bag to bring with you. I don't know what I'm talking about. A small thing. It's great. It's easy to learn. Folks who don't really even know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, but you can play as one of 4 classes. The iconography on the cards are fantastic and make it simple to pick up. Games are over in like 10 minutes. You can start again super fast. Play different characters. They all have a different look and feel to them. The artwork is created by Kyle Farron, who is an amazing fantasy artist and game artist, illustrator that you'll be seeing a lot more of, I think, in the years to come. Fantastic work all around. It was designed, I don't know if you guys know this story, but it was designed by 2 folks here at Wizards of the Coast that don't work in game design. They had an idea. They worked on it tirelessly. They brought in help from designers here at the company to play test and get more feedback, and they refined. They pitched it. It was accepted in all of 2018. I think it was accepted in February 2018, and then it was in production and on store shelves by November 2018, and I think a lot of people dig it. So shout out to Jordan Komar and Roscoe Wetlauer for creating that awesome game and pitching it to us and bringing kind of Dungeons and Dragons style play to audiences young and old. I think it's a fantastic game, and you should pick it up. I'm sending it out to a bunch of other people. Ether Dark 1 says Mayhem is fun. It is. It is so fun, and it all comes from these two folks who are passionate about what Dungeons and Dragons can do and turning it into something fun. So good on them. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Trolls Maiden is asking me a big question here. What are your thoughts about making an official Pixie playable race? My thoughts are that sounds like a cool idea. I think my daughter would love to play that. She loves the miniature of the Pixie. I was holding it up like I had one, but it's so tiny. I might as well be holding it in my hand. But I think that's pretty cool. Yes, the barbarian character in Dungeon Mayhem is named Sutha Skullcrusher. And one of her cards is called Big Zax is Best Axe. And I say it in that accent every single time. And I think it's amazing. All right. So that was a little bit of a year in review-ish. I don't know. We're throwing things out there. But I do want to call out a few fun things in the press that, some end-of-year roundup stuff. I haven't mentioned any of the amazing work that Shelley has done on Avalon Hill, but I will be throwing it to you now. So Polygon, our friends over there at Polygon, wrote up an article of the top 10 tabletop games of 2018, and guess what? Betrayal Legacy is on that list. They called Rob Davio's newest game just a remarkable year for tabletop games, and I really agree. Said you can drop a few rules or mess something up and the game is still incredibly fun because as a storytelling engine alone, it's second to none among board games. And I think that's what's really cool about Betrayal Legacy is that it feels like a D&D campaign. If you were to say that a game of Betrayal at House on the Hill felt like a D&D session in board game form, I would say playing through the 13 chapters and the prologue of Betrayal Legacy, that feels like a D&D campaign writ in board game form. It's a little bit more horror themed than other things, but it is fantastic, and it's really great to see the recognition that it is getting all over the interverse. Is that a word? Yeah, I want to shout out this one from Bleeding Cool as well. That I think I'm going to check and make sure that's from who I think it is. Who wrote that? But they say the most ambitious version of the game to date in that you're not just playing in a couple of random scenarios, but are actually going through a history of events on the same piece of property over the course of a couple centuries. And that quote is from Gavin Sheehan over at Bleeding Cool, an amazing writer who is potentially even watching right now. Hi, Gavin. How you doing? Thank you for this. The review was fantastic, and I couldn't agree more. It is a really fun game to play, and I'm glad that more people are checking it out all across the world. The world? Did I just say that? Yes, I did. Some more fun stuff from our friends at Art and Arcana, or at least more recognition from our friends at Art and Arcana. So CNET is a pretty big site out there, covers technology, but also, the kind of geekosphere of games, and they don't normally cover Dungeons & Dragons, so that's why I'm calling this out, is because they loved the work for that the four authors did for Art and Arcana. They called it a great gift idea with these books that are only available or really work in physical dead tree form. From a lavishly illustrated history of Dungeons & Dragons to the creativity-inspiring wonder book, all of these gifts in the gift guide are pretty fantastic, but I loved that they called out the illustrated history of Dungeons & Dragons in there, and it's also great to see so much recognition for the work that Kyle Newman, John Peterson, Sam Witwer, and Michael Witwer did in putting together the Art and Arcana visual history. I mean, it is just a stunning achievement to their research, their writing, as well as the brand itself and how it has changed and evolved over the years, especially the visual look of certain characters here and there. So if you haven't checked out Art and Arcana, go ahead and do so. I wanted to just call out CNET's putting it in an amazing roundup, as well as Boing Boing talking about the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of D&D. Many of our products ended up on Boing Boing's Tabletop Gamers Gift Guide for 2018. And their quote about these ABC's books. These first reader type books are the perfect gift for children of gamers who want to bring their nerdling hellspawn over to the dark side as early as possible. The books manage to evoke both the vibe of this type of preschool reader and the imaginative excitement of a D&D adventure. And I couldn't agree more. Hey everybody, hey Slither80. Yeah, Dice Camera Action is going to be popping up in about 35 minutes. We have an amazing, or I wouldn't say we, Chris Perkins and producer Pelham Green have an amazing show lined up for you. Tons of surprises. There are two of the Waffle Crew here with some two very special guests popping in for this episode 122 of Dice Camera Action, again starting in about 35 minutes. James Introcaso and James Hake, two of the amazing freelancers who contributed work to Waterdeep Dragon Heist. They will be guesting with Jared and Holly, and maybe there will be another guest. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. It could happen. Maybe I'll get called in. I don't know. Maybe Pelham is gonna finally make an appearance on Dice Camera Action. You don't know. You don't know that. Maybe it'll be someone else. Maybe it'll be Deborah Ann Wall. Maybe it will be Vin Diesel. Maybe the guest is actually going to be from another world. It could be Mordenkainen himself. I don't know. Maybe Sam Witwer's coming back. Hard to say. I just know that there's going to be a lot of hype for what's happening on Dice Camera Action this episode. The last episode of 2018. Just so you know, everybody, there will be no more Dice Camera Action episodes for this year. They will be taking off Christmas Day, which kind of makes sense, on the 25th next week, as well as January 1st. They are planning to return on January 8th. Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time is when you'll be able to pick up with the Waffle Crew once again. So go ahead and get excited because Tiamat is joining Dice Camera Action. Wait, what? No, I just happened to look over at the chat. That's not actually what's happening, but okay, maybe it is. All right. I am going to go back to my camera there. That's good. I want to make sure everybody knows there's a new Unearthed Arcana out there. Oh yeah, I can call that up, can I? So that you guys can see it. Unearthed Arcana came this month. Finally, Jeremy Crawford was busy doing some awesome dungeon mastering for the PAX Unplugged. That's what the name of that thing is. Yes, for sure. Here I'm touching a touch screen that's not actually a touch screen. Yeah, it is cool. So, yeah, he had a little bit of time. Oh, yeah, so here I can actually show this to you. So the Unearthed Arcana thing for... there you go. You can see it. It's for... It's how to do sidekicks. Testing the idea of bringing this in, and I'm showing this off a little bit more in detail because I played a game of Dungeons and Dragons with my daughters over the weekend, and my oldest daughter loves just pets and getting a pet in her as her character, or having her character having a pet. She's playing a druid. So she could potentially get some companions, but I just like this idea of having a sidekick, something that she can have with her at all times, but still feels like they get to level up with them. And so that's what this playtest document is all about. It has 3 basic classes for what your companion or sidekick can be. Some of them can, of course, could be an animal of some kind. I think the warrior basic class is probably better for most of the animals, but if you also befriend, say, a priest that's not really a cleric or a wizard or folks that don't fit into the larger class structure, and you don't want to have to deal with all of the housekeeping and bookkeeping that would have an entire separate player character, you can use these as a way for your sidekicks to improve over time, and I think it's fantastic. So worth checking out. Give us all the feedback on how it plays in your game. Again, there's 3 basic kind of archetypes here. There's the expert, the warrior, and the spellcaster, and it works kind of well on this level. So I'll be using this a lot more too coming forward. Check it out if you can. That was released on Monday. You can download it right now. It's pretty cool. I wanted to check out something that I just got an electronic mail in before I tell you what's really happening next, because it might infect a little bit of what I'm talking about right now. All right. Yeah, so in general, when it's something that is easily implemented with D&D Beyond, this kind of playtest content will be able to be used on there, but I just want to make sure everyone isn't looking for that a week after this Unearthed Arcana is out there. So it may end up being able to be tested on D&D Beyond in some kind of a system and a rollout, but for now you're going to have to use this with pen and paper as you figure out exactly how it works, and we get feedback and it streamlines into something that could potentially be a product or show up in a Dungeons & Dragons product out there again. All right. So yeah, again, check it out if you haven't already. Another thing that has come out that I want to make sure everyone knows about is Dragon Plus. This issue of Dragon Plus is out there right now. It has got your name on it. Well, it doesn't have your name on it unless your name is Extra Life Wrap Up. Then it does have your name on it, but that's a strange name. Oh yeah, that's exactly what Lauren is saying right in there too. That is what's something I wanted to get out there. So I'm really glad that Lauren is able to throw that in there. So thanks, Lauren. But yes, good stuff all around. I think you should all check out Dragon Plus if you haven't already. What is Dragon Plus, you might ask? Well, it is an app, or really it's a kind of a bi-monthly release of content that you can get in app form. It's downloadable on Android or iOS, or you can check it out on dragonmag.com. And that's where I'm showing this right now. This is what it looks like. This is the cover. Our amazing art director, or creative art director, Shauna Wolf Narciso. She spends a lot of fun energy in making sure these covers are visually interesting. This one's got a cool little blinking nose for a reindeer-like creature. I like how there's also some Cthulhu-esque tentacles here in the artwork. That makes it very, very uniquely D&D, this cover. But there's so much great content in all this now. Bart Carroll does an amazing job of putting it all together. We've learned that people like to find out where some of the artwork comes from. So Max Marshall goes through and talks about all of the stuff that he honed in creating that image with the blinking nose rather. Here there's a holiday gift guide for all of the fun stuff that you could potentially get there. Of course, I went through just a whole bunch of holiday gift guides, but there's even more out there. Here's a recap of all of the fun from the Extra Life performances over the last few months. This is from Gamehole Con. You might recognize a few faces on here, including Matt Mercer, Pat Rothfuss, Elisa Teague, Amy Vorpal, Guy Garov, and Mr. Chris Perkins. And some other amazing folks. So check it out there. Yes, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is going to what I like to say, the consoles. So you can check out this amazing game and play as Evelyn in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms on PC and on mobile tablets, now on Xbox One and PS4. So we're really excited about that. I think there are many characters in the Waffle Crew and or dramatized here on the D&D Twitch channel that you can now play as in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, or at least recruit them into your party. You send them out on adventures, they kill monsters, they get XP and loot, and then you can use that to level them up even more. So much fun stuff. Trolls Madon. Yes, there's so much news. There really is. And Elwarius, it does have your name on it. That's true. Very good stuff. D&D Online, Dungeons and Dragons Online has been going. They were celebrating their 13th anniversary. It is crazy that an MMO based on Dungeons and Dragons has been going on continuously for 13 years. They started out being set in Stormreach and Eberron, and they have gone on to all kinds of different parts of the D&D multiverse, including Ravenloft, and now White Plume Mountain and other tales. So that's really super exciting. You can find out more about what they're doing in D&D Online. Behind the scenes, D&D and the visually impaired. This is an article that goes into what it's like to play as a player who is unable to see, as well as what it's like to play a character that is unable to see. I spoke with the writer here, as well as Blind Temple, for what it was like to play as Fabian in Clerical Air. Shout out to Oboe Crazy for running that amazing game. But I loved that we were able to bring some attention to what it's like playing not only as a character with an impairment, but as a player with an impairment, and some simple ways that you can improve your game. So good stuff there. I'm excited about the Falling Star. This article goes into detail about the ship. That's right, a full-on ship that is coming from WizKids, made for miniatures on the same scale as D&D miniatures. We've actually had a prototype here in the office for quite a while, and I drool over it. So it's melting because my acidic drool has been destroying the plastic of the ship. It'll be coming out in the spring, and we'll be showing off more and more, probably on this show in its entirety. So check that out. You get more information about it in here. Some great fiction. That's one of the great things about Dragon Plus, is that we're able to deliver all kinds of content, including written short stories and maybe novellas. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. That's pretty long, but it could be in there. So if you're interested in more D&D storytelling, there it is. Oh, and hey, there I am. I'm Greg Tito. That's me right there with my face turned that way. As well as Lauren and the amazing group in from Clerical Air. I love all these people. I'm sad I don't get to play with them on a weekly basis anymore, but I think I'm going to try and fix that by getting together over the holidays. What do you say? Should be fun. Farmer Bob 12, Mike Merle's Happy Fun Hour was postponed and or canceled for today. Mike will be back in the new year, probably on January 8th is when Happy Fun Hour will return. We got the holidays here around in North America, so a lot of stuff is shutting down. This is the last D&D news of 2018 and the last Dice Camera Action episode 122 of 2018. That will be starting in about 23 minutes. We have Holly and Jared from the Waffle Crew will be there, as well as James Hake, James Intricasso playing as guests. They are two of the amazing freelancers who worked on Waterdeep Dragon Heist, so they will be bringing their specific expertise of knowing what's happening in Waterdeep to their characters, I'm sure. Going back to what's happening in Dragon Plus, Jason Thompson is an amazing artist, and he always creates very vivid representations of what it's like for D&D characters in a storytelling, almost like a, hey, this was happened next, this will happen next. He has done that for many of our adventures, kind of a through line of what happens in the entire module, and he's got some more really fun stuff in this bit. We talk about Dungeon Mayhem, which I already have, with Jordan Komar and Roscoe Wetlaufer. Going into Dragon Classic, Best of the DMs Guild. Maps of the month. There's more fun maps in there, including the maps for the Falling Star, the ship that's coming out, and the 2018 Extra Life Adventure that was penned by none other than Bart Carroll. So go check that out if you haven't already. Man, there is just so much more content in every single issue of Dragon Plus. So if you haven't, look, I'm scrolling up and I can't even get to the top. Where is it? There it is. If you have not been checking out Dragon Plus, you totally should. It is available, as I said, on your phone, on your Android or iOS phone. You can get that, and it downloads the content every new time. Or you can check it out on the web at dragonmag.com. One little bit that I don't know if you have seen very often is that there is this feed of all of our dungeon, basically all the content that we do, both on the website as well as posting on Facebook. Well, actually, most of these are just things that are on the website, so never mind. Oh, wait, no, but you can I'm going into this one, which is, yeah, so cancel what I just said or what I was just showing you. This is the aggregate of all of the news from the website, webseed, Facebook, Tumblr, as well as the D&D home, all in one place. So if you check all three of these places at the same time in one place, it kind of works out. It is super fun. Yeah, Akisha, don't forget, thank you for pointing. Don't forget, it's really a great bit of adventuring in that adventure. Yes, all the above. How are you guys doing? I did that thing where I talked for a long time and I needed to take a breath. So, hi, how are you? Has D&D news been everything that you've wanted this here year? I know I definitely get lots of feedback from folks as to, well, it's not really news, and part of that is because we repeat the things that have been happening over the last few years, but whenever something new is, we will definitely be talking about it first on this show, and we've got lots of ideas and ways to improve what's coming in 2019 for this hour leading up to Dice Camera Action. So look for some, probably not changes directly in the beginning of 2019, but as we move into the next few months, we'll be adding some more features and stuff like that. And so as a fun little way to test that, I wanted to give you some highlights from Sirens of the Realms, which is happening, there's a new episode happening tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Satine Phoenix is leading the charge there. They have a guest, Kyle Newman, one of the authors of Unearthed Arcana, will be joining the cast of Sirens of the Realms tonight at 7 p.m. But here is a edited bit of all of the fun stuff that happened last week on Sirens. I'm hoping this works. I'm literally just going to press a button. You tell me if there's good video or good sound, and when we get back here. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Watch this.
What is your name, sir?
Whip.
Whip.
That's all you need to know.
Oh,
Whip.
very
And he
nice.
kind of spits in your direction as he says it.
Oh,
Sorry. Side effect.
And I release this meow, and no one else sees anything. But what the other guy sees is that Arisa's mouth opens and peels back, and her entire body slides off. And instead, where she stands is that guy's worst fear as I cast fear.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
We're all here behind you, will not forsake you. Ariza, it's history you make. Ariza, the winner you'll be. Ariza, it's your victory.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. But as I'm saying that, my eyes are completely black, and I have an army of fleas and mites and ants behind me walking, but they all spell out, they're all perfect, and they all say reckless. So
Yeah, you can go to beatongrams.com. We only have 70 left. So it's a limited edition. So if you look on the back of that, there's a gold foiled number or a foiled number.
Oh, this one's yours.
We're back. How did that all work? Did the sound go good? I actually couldn't hear it. So I was basically doing this the whole time, hoping that I rolled my lucky D20. Did it all sound good? I think that was awesome. I love all that. We want to do more clips like that during this here hour. Perhaps showing off top 5 or top 10 of all the things that have happened over the last week on the D&D Twitch channel. Maybe not even just the D&D Twitch channel, but what's happening across the multiverse for Dungeons & Dragons live shows. Maybe even some audio stuff in there too. So check it out. Great. Glad you liked it. I got one more to show you. Here's an awesome top 5 of what was happening at the Inkwell Society, which is Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Dungeon mastered by Rudy Rutenberg, set in Eberron. So let's check out another one of those right about now.
I should say the Elvish.
Sure.
I had a question about you regarding Felix.
Is our normal voice Elvish?
That is
what
my
we do?
normal accent for Elvish.
That's appropriate. There is
You split the party, one single breath, ain't got what it takes. Don't you split the party, the city hungers and you're steaming meat. The city hungers and you're steaming meat. Better now?
Is it better now? Looks better. Good job. Here's some beef jerky.
sees a large gorilla type figure with multiple arms hanging on the side of the building yank the bars and the wall off, exposing the cityscape and the ground below, and he tosses it across. It slams into the building adjacent, close to where Felix is waiting.
You are very generous. I'm very honored that you would share your apple with me.
Oh, of course, you have to take care of your elders.
Wasn't that awesome? Oh my God, that was so great. I love all that. I'm going to be doing that a lot more as time goes on. Thank you to Steve Sprinkles at Unearthed Arcana for putting those together. I think they are fantastic and is something that I'm going to start doing more all around in 2019 here on the D&D News. So we got 15 minutes before Dice Camera Action episode 122 is ready to start. I wanted to give a quick shout out to oh man, we should totally be doing this one too. I wonder if there's a way if I can get this on there. I don't think there is. I got to think about this more ahead of time, unless what's happening now. But we ran a contest called Summon the Terrors of Undermountain. We was in partnership with Adobe. I don't know if you remember from Twitch Con when Bart Carroll and Satine and I'm forgetting the name of the artist, came in together. We did some Dungeons and Doodles live, talked about how you could enter a piece of artwork for a monster in Undermountain, and that could be accepted for a chance to win $5,000, a trip to Wizards of the Coast, and have your work featured as an official D&D monster. Well, I am happy to say and congratulate Will K for winning that contest. I'm actually trying to get to the image so that I can show you guys it, because it's a pretty cool and awesome looking monster. I think the only way I can do it is to do it here on the interwebs, but it's pretty cool, and congratulations to Will K for that, because I was very impressed with the skill at which it was all done. Oh my God. You ready for this? You ready for this, people? Have you guys seen it yet? Blah. That's the monster that Will K created. Amazing. I wanted to see if they have the name for the... Oh, and here's some... I wanted to give some shout outs to They're smaller here, so you can't necessarily see them. You can go to summontheterror.com to find out more about some of the, see these images for yourself. But it is fantabulous that so many people were able to jump in and create these monsters, and I can't wait to see a mini. It's gotta be a pretty large one of this creature. It almost reminds me of like a beluga whale trapped inside a, what's the creature from Star Wars with the, you know what I'm trying to say. Really, really cool. I was impressed with the level of skill put forth in that. So congratulations again to Will K. That's awesome. And I can't wait to see the miniature and meet him when he comes to check out Wizards of the Coast. I feel like there is one more thing I want to make sure to let you guys know about. What is it? Well, you mentioned you saw in the Inkwell Society bit, as well as the Sirens of the Realms, that Beagle and Grimm's Platinum Edition for Waterdeep Dragon Heist is out there. It is fantabulous, the amount of fun props, artifacts, and miniatures, not to mention the way that the adventure is broken out for Dungeon Masters to use at the table. I think one of the most ingenious, things that was included in that box, if you haven't seen it yet, is it's a version of something that so many Dungeon Masters I know use, where you have a folded piece of paper and you fold it, put it over your Dungeon Master screen. And you use that to track initiative. So you have several of them all over your screen, and this person goes first and all the way down to the last, right? Well, what they did is they created one of those for NPCs and monsters that are commonly used in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So the front of the flag that's facing the players has the piece of artwork about what that character looks like to the players. On the back of that, facing the Dungeon Master, is all the stats you need to run that monster. And it's such a great double duty thing. It's literally a piece of cardstock with, the tents. So it's one of those great ideas. Like, anybody had the ability to do this, but Matthew Lillard and his team at the Pandemonium Warehouse putting that together, fantastic. And I will be using that going forward as much as I can, because it's really great. And they've got so many ideas for new and exciting things that they could bring to the table. And you should check out, if you haven't already, Beadle and Grimm's website. They have a way for you to buy some of the smaller parts of the Platinum box individually, piecemeal. You can get them now, so order them if you can. I agree, Sly Flourish, and it's good to see you. What's up, buddy? That a Rancor. Okay, I'm finally seeing everybody talking about the Rancor. It does look a little bit like right? The Summon the Terror kind of look like anyway. Yes, I agree. I think they should do that with all their adventure products going forward, and maybe even hopefully make them available to purchase after the fact, because they are very, very cool. All right, so we're getting to the last couple of minutes here. I want to give a shout out to Death Saves. They've got some amazing, great D&D artwork from, kind of feel like that metal 80s stuff going on. Check out them if you haven't already. They've got some amazing work by Han Cholo on their site. Han Cholo makes amazing real jewelry, so that's pretty cool. WizKids is coming out with an expansion to Rock Paper Wizards. It's called Fistful of Monsters. It's out now at game stores and everywhere you buy stuff. And the Icons of the Realms for Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica have been flying off the shelves. I've gotten so many requests for people to check out those miniatures. We haven't had that amount of miniatures for Magic the Gathering worlds out there, and so people are very excited about being able to get some of those, in addition to the Arcane Fury and the spell effects, essentially. If you have a wall of flame and you used miniatures on your table, you basically just took a red marker and did like a wavy line, and that's where your wall of flame is, right? But if you get the spell effects miniatures available now from WizKids, you can put down walls of flame and really delineate out where that is. They look cool. They appear as if what a spell would look like as if it was cast. So that's pretty neat. And those are available now if you can get them. Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons issue number 3 has been out for a couple of weeks. Want to make sure I wanted to let you know about it now. It features some cameos in Rick and Morty artwork style from some people you might recognize, such as Satine Phoenix, Mr. Chris Perkins, and Mike Merles are all in there. So that's pretty cool to see, and I can't wait for issue 4 because I have some inner knowledge of some even more cameos that might be popping up. So some people might be excited about what's happening. Maybe some people here on this channel, maybe some people in other parts of the world. So it's pretty cool, and you should check it out. If you haven't, you don't even have to necessarily be a fan of Rick and Morty. Even if you're just a fan of D&D, it's pretty much worthwhile and going out there. So I'm going to be winding this down and saying goodbye to you guys for 2018. It was a fantastic year for D&D. I can report that it is the second consecutive best year ever for Dungeons & Dragons. And by that, I mean going back to 1974. Based on all of what we know, this year knocked it out of the park. And we're excited so much about the positivity that this community is bringing to storytelling and fantasy with your friends around a table, and we'll be delivering even more of that in 2019. But we couldn't have done it without you, and in many ways, everything that Dungeons & Dragons does is for you and the storytelling that you are able to bring to your sessions, be they broadcast for people live over platforms like Twitch or just to your friends or family. They mean as much to us either way, and I'm very excited about what's to come for Dungeons & Dragons. I've got lots of creative ideas in the hopper, and I can't wait to share them all with you. So thank you so much for allowing us the ability to speak to you like this on a weekly basis. It's something that I don't take for granted. I really appreciate it. You've been fantastic. And thanks for watching and listening to me and Shelly on Dragon Talk as often as you have. It's been really great. And so I'm going into this holiday season with a lot of happiness and pride as to what we're doing, and looking to start here on the channel in the first week of January with the first real broadcast you might see here in the new year in 2019 will be a Spoilers and Swag. That show with Nathan Stewart, Kate Welch, will be occurring on January 4th, I believe at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So check your watches, set your calendars, tell Alexa to set an alarm for that time, because those two are hilarious and they will be dropping. I mean, Nathan's basically said he's already going to spoil our entire product catalog for 2019 on that hour, so you should probably tune in and watch that, and then I'll pick up all the pieces for when I return for Dragon Talk on January 8th, and D&D news and Dice Camera Action and all the fun streaming stuff we got going on Tuesday, January 9th? January 8th? No, that's January 8th. I might be back on. Well, we'll figure it out. Next year. My schedule's all messed up, but you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Enjoy episode 122 of Dice Camera Action coming forthwith. Happy holidays, everybody.